Good morning, students. Today, once again moving ahead with economics of class 12, Indian economic development, we'll start with the next chapter, that is your features, problems and policies of agriculture. As if now we have studied basic problems and basic features of agriculture. Now, moving ahead in this chapter, we'll take each and every topic in detail. So, very first thing that we are going to study is, that is, importance of agriculture in Indian economy. We all know, students, that our country is dependent on agriculture, as we say that it is our agriculture country. Moreover, its contribution to GDP, that is why, is quite high. Before, as we did the planning, as we have studied the economic planning, in the period its contribution was 51%, but declined afterwards to 14.4% till 2018. Though it declined, but it doesn't show that this primary sector is not contributing. This declination also says that the faster growth of secondary and tertiary sectors. So it cannot be said that it is the flaws of the Indian agriculture sector that it is declining. Other sectors are also at a blooming pace. So each and every sector contributes for its existence, for the growth. So students, contribution to GDP means the involvement in the economic activities. The more and more goods and services would be produced, the more they will purchase, the more it will be consumed, and automatically it will contribute to the economy. Next thing is that its importance is basically in supply of wage goods. Wage goods are necessities of life. They are like wheat, pulses, maize, bajra, etc. These are the basic necessities. We intake these foods in everyday life, students. So, near about crores of people, the supply of these wage goods are being there through agriculture sector only. They are growing and they are supplying and we are consuming it. We are having these things. Other than that, they supply raw materials also to the industries. If they will not supply raw materials to the industries like cotton industry, textile industry and your sugar industries and various other industries, when you search it out, when you blog it out in your mind, you will find various raw materials are there that are being produced in the agriculture sector that stands hold in the industrial market too. Other than that, since it's a source of employment also, this is the basic source of employment, as 50% of population is employed, as more than 50% of the people are engaged in rural sector only, and they are dependent on agriculture only. So, number of people are employed in this sector. Other than that, it's a source of demand for industrial goods. Students, each and every sector is dependent upon one another. You cannot say that primary sector can survive and industrial sector can survive all alone, or tertiary sector. Each and every sector is dependent upon each other. You people have learned all these things in class 10th. Moreover, since we say that it's a source of demand for industrial goods, as they required various technical input materials like harvesters, machines, which are consumed by agriculture. Now modern techniques are being applied, so there is a huge demand of these goods for the industrial sector also. Next is, they contribute to international trade. Their contribution is remarkable, that is 11.76%. That shows that India exports tea, jute, cashew nuts, tobacco, coffee, spices and what not. We are exporting and we are showing our capabilities, existence in the international market. Moreover, it's a support to transport industries too. Why? Because both railways and roadways are bulk carriers of farm products. Students, we are consuming the things how? Because these sectors are facilitating us with their facilities, and the raw materials and the finished products are reaching us through this only. Other than that, it is basically called the wealth of nation because its contribution towards the wealth is enormous. Besides capital worth crores of rupees, other than that stays invested in major and minor irrigation projects also. So on the whole, we saw that importance of agriculture is there. Agriculture holds a greater position in our country. It's a major sector in our country. Moving ahead, another thing is that features of Indian agriculture. When you go through all these points, you will be able to recall the prior lecture also, that initially when at the time of colonial exploitation of agriculture, what situation was. That was the basic features, and so we'll be discussing that only. The very first point is low productivity. Low as compared to other countries, shows bleak growth of industrial sector. Productivity is per unit hectare of output, and it shows that it is when you compare it to the other countries, it is quite low. It is quite low because we are unable to exploit our, you can say, fully utilize our resources, and it shows that bleak growth of industrial sector also, that they are not providing us, or we are not able to accept these changes. Other than that, disguised unemployment is there. It's no new word for you children, but still I'll explain you. When more than number of people are employed on the same piece of land and required, and the output remains unchanged, is called disguised unemployment. This shows hidden unemployment, which wasn't required. Number of people are working and that aren't required over there, and the output remained unchanged, and they think that they are working. What does this show? This shows that still people who are residing over in the rural areas depend upon their own conservative thoughts. That gives us disguised unemployment. Other than that, they highly depend on rainfall. No backup for irrigation facilities. This says that if the rainfall is good, then the output will be good, and if rainfall is no, then there will be no output. Moreover, lack of money or lack of the government support or lack of the knowledge also can't make them support their irrigation facilities. Other than that, they are highly dependent on subsistence farming. Commercial outlook, again a challenging aspect for them. They believe that farming for self-consumption can only make them through with their families. So they go through that only. Acceptance for the change is less. Other than lack of modern inputs. Lack of modern inputs, it doesn't mean that they are not aware. Sometimes they are aware, they don't know how to use us. Sometimes they are unaware of the facilities that are provided by the government. Moreover, if they are able to, then they are expensive also, that they can't afford it. So few of the drawbacks with the lack of modern inputs. Other than that, landlord and tenant conflict. It's a very, you can say, conflict that is going on from the past many years, that landlord and the tenants are not at the compromising notes, especially the landlords. They want to absorb more and more money or more and more work from the tenants, and tenants less very bare means of subsistence for them. So the conflicts continues. Other than that, last but not the least, primitive technology. Students, primitive technology means they are not ready to accept to the modern technologies. They believe that whatever they are doing with their land, how they are producing the crops is the better and the final way of developing it. So, believe in the old method of farming is the persistence that hindrance, or you can say, with the agriculture sector. So students, today we have discussed two major topics of this chapter. First is your importance, next is your features. Moving ahead, tomorrow we'll discuss about problems and the reforms. Thank you.